This guy literally got caught teaching people how to plagiarize best-selling books and still made $65 million before the FTC shut him down. This other dude received 2 official warnings from the Federal Trade Commission saying, "What you're doing is illegal," then spent another year scamming people anyway. And this legend, he became the most mocked man on the internet with his "Here in My Garage Lamborghini" video. Everyone knew the car was rented, the mansion was fake, the whole thing was props, and he still convinced 660 people to hand him $112 million for a Ponzi scheme 8 years later. I'm talking about business gurus who made hundreds of millions selling you the dream while the red flags were so obvious they could be seen from the International Space Station. We're ranking the 7 stupidest scams people fell for despite every possible warning sign. And I mean stupid. Like, continuing to scam after receiving legal notices, stupid. Teaching literal plagiarism as a business model, stupid. Calling yourself billion-dollar virgin with an F rating on BBB, stupid. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how these scams worked, why smart people fell for dumb schemes, and most importantly, how to spot the next one coming. Alright, before we dive into this circus of stupidity, here's what I did. I spent 3 weeks analyzing FDIC court documents, SEC filings, victim testimonials, BBB complaint records, and about 50 Reddit threads from people who actually bought these courses. We're talking verified legal cases, not just YouTube drama. Some of these guys are literally awaiting trial right now. Others are still operating freely despite being obvious scammers, which honestly might be the craziest part of this whole story. I'm not here to just roast people. We're following the money, the legal documents, and the receipts. Some of this genuinely shocked me. Let's get into it. What we're talking about today is different. These are scams where the guy is literally standing in front of a rented Lamborghini, making income claims with zero proof, has an F rating on Better Business Bureau, and is teaching you to plagiarize as a business strategy. The red flags aren't just visible. They're doing backflips while screaming, "This is a scam," through a megaphone. And yet, collectively, these 7 gurus extracted between $300 and $400 million from people. That's not a typo. $300 to $400 million. From schemes that were painfully, obviously, hilariously fraudulent from day one. So our ranking criteria is simple. How obvious were the red flags? How much money was stolen? How many people fell for it despite warnings? And most importantly, how absurd was the whole operation? Okay, starting at number 7. Wait, no. We're going backwards. Starting at number 1, the absolute stupidest, most brazen scam on this list, the Sales Mentor, run by Taylor Welch and Christopher Evans. Here's what makes this the gold medal winner of stupidity. On October 27th, 2021, these guys received not 1, but 2 official notices of penalty offenses from the Federal Trade Commission. These weren't friendly suggestions. These were formal legal notices saying, "What you're doing is illegal, and if you continue, you're looking at penalties of $43,792 per violation." So what did they do? They held an internal training meeting in December 2021, acknowledged the FTC notices, and then, wait for it, they kept scamming people throughout the entire year of 2022. It's like getting pulled over by a cop, having him write you a ticket for speeding, and then immediately speeding away while he's still standing there watching you. That's not just fraud, that's performance art. The scam itself was beautiful in its simplicity. They promised people virtually impossible not to enjoy a job-replacing 6-figure income if they became sales closers. The price started at $97 to get you in the door, then immediately upsold to $997 for the certification, then $8,000 to $50,000 for the Inner Circle program. But here's my favorite part. Peyton Welch, the sales director, created a testimonial claiming he made $15,460 in commissions in 2 weeks working part-time. Plot twist. Peyton is Taylor Welch's brother. He made it up. The family was literally creating fake testimonials for each other. The result, $29 million stolen from 55,000 people. The FTC finally shut them down in December 2023, distributed $960,000 in refunds to 8,174 victims, which means only 15% of victims got anything back, and slapped them with permanent injunctions. Why is this number 1? Because they were literally warned it was illegal and did it anyway. That's not stupidity from the scammers, that's breathtaking audacity. The stupidity is from the 55,000 people who bought courses from guys claiming you'd virtually impossible not to succeed at something. Spoiler, if success is impossible to fail at, it's not a real business opportunity. Coming in at number 2, Onyx Singhal and his company Learn, because nothing says legitimate business model like teaching people how to rip off authors. Onyx's flagship program was called Kindle Cashflow University. And what did this $947 course teach you? How to find best-selling Kindle books, create near copies, and trick Amazon shoppers into buying your knockoff version instead of the original. Let me be crystal clear, this is intellectual property theft marketed as entrepreneurship. dealership. It's like teaching a course called How to Steal Cars and Resell Them 101. But wait, it gets better. On May 29th, 2019, 4 years before the FTC shut him down, Anik posted a YouTube video where he discussed with his attorney that overpromising earnings was illegal. He acknowledged it on camera, then spent the next 3 years doing exactly that. The promises were mathematically absurd. Make more than $13,700 per day, $400 within 24 hours, and my personal favorite, fail 98% of the time and still make $11,453 per month. That last one is particularly funny because if you're failing 98% of the time, you're working maybe 14.4 hours a month successfully. At $11,453, that's $795 per successful hour, which means you're either a world-class consultant or a full of shit. Spoiler, they were full of shit. The FTC caught up in September 2023, hit them with a $14 million judgment, and distributed $2.4 million in refunds. Anik claimed he couldn't pay more, which is convenient considering he'd been flexing his success for years. Why number 2? Because teaching plagiarism isn't a legal gray area, it's just theft. And if your business model is copy best-selling books and trick shoppers, well, maybe that's a sign you should reconsider your life choices. The students who paid $947 to learn how to plagiarize should have spent that money on literally anything else. A therapist, a library card, a refund. Now look, if you're sitting here thinking, okay, I see what not to do, but what actually works? Here's the reality. You need clarity on your specific bottlenecks, not another generic playbook. I've got a business consultant in the description who does exactly that. Real one-to-one strategy sessions with entrepreneurs and professionals. No mass market BS, just personalized roadmaps that help you stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. Links below to book a call if you're serious about building something legitimate. Now let's get back to it. Number 3 is the man, the meme, the legend, Tai Lopez. And buckle up because this story spans from 2015 viral fame to 2025 SEC fraud charges. If you were on the internet in 2015 to 2016, you saw the "Here in My Garage" video. Tai, standing in front of a Lamborghini, talking about how he loves his new Lamborghini, but you know what he loves more? Knowledge. And his 2,000 books arranged like a Barnes & Noble display. The entire internet clowned on him. H3H3 made a reaction video that got millions of views. Ethan Klein even visited T's mansion and confirmed everything was rented. The Lambo was leased. The mansion was a rental. The books were probably from a prop house. Tai Lopez became the internet's punching bag, the poster child for fake guru nonsense. And you know what happened? People kept giving him money. First came the courses, 67 steps for $67 plus $69.99 monthly, SMMA programs for $297 to $497, a mini MBA for $1,000. The BBB gave him a 1 out of 5 star rating. Complaints flooded in about terrible customer service, 8-month refund runarounds that ended in denials, generic content available free on YouTube. Everything about it screamed scam. But here's where it gets truly stupid. In 2020, Tai partnered with Alex Mayer, Zoosk founder, and his cousin Maya Birkenrode to start retail e-commerce ventures, or Arid Rev. They raised $230 million from investors, $112 million of which the SEC now says was fraudulent. REV acquired Radio Shack, Pier 1, Dress Barn, Models, Linens and Things, and Stein Mart. According to the SEC complaint, none of these companies generated any profits, not one. They paid investors $5.9 million using other investors' money and diverted $16.1 million to Tai and Alex personally. Oh, and remember Maya Birkenrode, the COO who claimed 10 plus years managing multi-million-dollar companies? Her real resume, substitute preschool teacher and Tai's assistant. The SEC filed charges in September 2025. Tai's currently awaiting trial, facing civil penalties and potentially criminal charges, and his response on Twitter, "Never doom, all defeat is psychological." Why number 3? Because this is the same guy from the Garage video. Everyone knew he was fake in 2015, YouTubers exposed him in 2016, the BBB gave him 1 star, yet 660 investors still wrote checks averaging $170,000 each for a investment in zombie retail brands promising 49% returns. The Lambo was rented 10 years ago, and somehow that wasn't enough of a warning. Number 4, Kevin David, who proved you can literally steal other people's content, get exposed on YouTube, and still make $53 million. Kevin's main hustle was Amazon FBA courses, how to make millions selling products on Amazon. The problem? Multiple sources claimed Kevin David never had any products on Amazon himself. His wealth came from selling courses about selling on Amazon. not from actually selling on Amazon. It's like a guy teaching swimming lessons who's never been in a pool. In 2019, CoffeeZilla, back when he was Coffee Break, made a video showing Kevin David copying other gurus' content word for word. Same thumbnails, same script, same promises. Kevin's response: he filed a DMCA takedown claiming his name was copyrighted. That's not how copyright works, and anyone with Google could have figured that out. But the real scam was DK Automation, a done-for-you Amazon Business Service charging $10,000 to $100,000. You pay them, they'd set up your Amazon store, and money would roll in automatically. The reality: Trustpilot and BBB were flooded with complaints of products never launching, stores selling nothing, and zero customer support after payment. The FTC shut him down in November 2022 with a $53 million judgment. Kevin filed bankruptcy claiming he couldn't pay, but somehow had multiple luxury cars and properties. The FTC got $2.6 million in refunds distributed, suspended the rest due to inability to pay, meaning if they catch him lying about his finances, the full $53 million comes due immediately. Number 5, Dan Lok, who built a cult around calling him Sifu, Chinese for master who teaches, and made students watch 10 of his YouTube videos every single day. Dan's high-ticket closer certification promised $10,000 to $20,000 monthly income closing high-ticket sales for other businesses. Price started at $2,500, immediately jumped to $4,500 with the "this is high school, pay more for university" pitch, and currently sits at $6,997. The reality: most students closed 0 deals outside Dan Lok's ecosystem. The only job opportunities were selling more Dan Lok courses, textbook MLM structure, and the cult-like devotion. Students were required to call him Sifu, watch 10 videos daily for mindset training, definitely not to inflate his YouTube view count, and participate in public shaming if they didn't succeed. The most famous victim is Garrett, a civil engineer who quit his job, lost $26,000, made $0, and became homeless. When he spoke out in a CoffeeZilla interview that got 2+ million views, Dan Lok's team retaliated with legal threats. So what do you guys think? Are these gurus master manipulators or just parasites preying on desperate people? Drop a comment. I actually read every single one, and some of your ideas have turned into full videos. And look, if you want more deep dives into online business scams, hit that subscribe button. Next week, we're breaking down the crypto guru ecosystem, and trust me, Bitcoin bros make these guys look like amateurs. The red flags are somehow even more obvious, and the losses are even bigger. Thanks for watching, and remember, if someone's flexing a Lamborghini while teaching you how to get rich, check if they own the car first. Odds are it's a rental, and so is everything else they're selling you.